What's up, YouTube? I'm Wrigley Juice Recipes. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're making another Flavors You Need video. These videos are all about flavors that I think that you need to own if you're a new mixer. I talk about the topic of budget all of the time, something that's a serious barrier when you're just getting into DIY. There are a lot of mixers who are new to the DIY world that are mixing because they have to, because they can't go down the street to get the ingredients, to get what they need to not smoke cigarettes. So they've started making their own e-liquid. There's so many different flavors. Which ones should you buy? Well, I'm making a definitive list. That's right, I'm defining it. All of the flavors that you need. I'm first covering this by flavor company, and today we're going to talk about WonderFlavours. WonderFlavours has tons of fantastic concentrates, and I have picked out just a few of them here that I think that you really need to own. Just because a flavor is not on this list does not mean that it's not good. If you're ever curious about a flavor, go over to ELR, look the flavor up on there, click down on the Notes tab, and read the notes. People have taken time to write notes. People write really good notes about flavors. All of that information is free and it's readily accessible for anybody who wants to read it. So without further ado, let's start this list off. The first flavor by WonderFlavours that I think that you need to own is WonderFlavours Angel Cake. WonderFlavours Angel Cake is probably my favorite cake flavor. It's like a white, fluffy, spongy cake. It's kind of a little bit reminiscent of meringue, but it has a strong bakery note. Something that I really think that WonderFlavours Angel Cake nails that a lot of other cakes don't nail is those crispy edges. You know when you bake a cake and you take a slice out of the corner, it has those nice brown edges around the outside of it. WonderFlavours Angel Cake does a really good job of mimicking that. It's just a very fluffy, spongy cake with a little bit of brown edges. The thing about WonderFlavours Angel Cake is it does take quite a bit of time to steep before you get some of those more subtle notes. Subtlety is something that WonderFlavours really excels at. A lot of WonderFlavours flavors are super concentrates, which means that you can use them at a relatively low percentage and get tons of flavor. The next flavor that I'm going to talk about is also a super concentrate. It is WonderFlavours Strawberry Baked. I gotta tell you, so many different strawberry flavors. There's literally thousands of options available when it comes to strawberries, and a lot of them are very similar. There's basically only a few different kinds of strawberries, and WonderFlavours Strawberry Baked doesn't taste like any other strawberry. It's absolutely fantastic. It is a really good, kind of syrupy, kind of jammy, deep baked strawberry. Like I said, it doesn't taste like any other strawberry that I've ever tried before. It's incredibly unique and you can pick it out in an instant. If it's in a recipe, you know that that's what it is. They did a really good job of kind of mimicking that dark syrupy cooked. It has a natural flavor. I think that it's a really good flavor, and it's definitely something that you want to pick up. The last flavor that I picked is easily my favorite WonderFlavours flavor of all of them, and it's WonderFlavours caramel butter. WonderFlavours caramel butter is it's a really solid caramel flavor, but it's not like a caramel candy. It's like a warm caramel syrup, like if you were making homemade caramel and you weren't quite to that stage where it's like candy or where it's thick, but it's just kind of syrupy and buttery, and it's just fantastic. It's not very dark, and another thing about it is it's not super duper sweet, which is something that I would expect from a caramel, but it does have a really good buttery caramel flavor, and I think that it can do a really good work sweetening up things like RY4s, creams, custards, and adding that kind of like velvety richness that I think a lot of those kind of custard cream bakery profile needs. You can get a lot of nuance out of WonderFlavours caramel butter. It has a really, really wide range, which is not something that's very common with WonderFlavours flavors. In fact, one of my biggest gripes about WonderFlavours is that their flavors are incredibly precise. A lot of them you can't do a ton of different stuff with. It kind of is what it is, and most of them are really, really good. But like I said, WonderFlavours caramel butter has a really good range. You can use it for a lot of different applications, and we are going to use that in a recipe right now because this wouldn't be a Ruggly Juice recipes video without a recipe. So we are going to make baked strawberry cream cake using all three of these ingredients and another one. We're going to start with 4% of WonderFlavours Angel Cake. I forgot to mention, WonderFlavours has a couple of other cakes. This one doesn't have any sort of frosting note, so I think that it's really, really good for general fluffy, spongy cake applications because you don't get any tertiary cream or frosting notes. It has maybe a slight note of vanilla, but nothing that just like, screams frosting. And then we are going to add to that 2% of WonderFlavours baked strawberry. That's going to give us a nice cake note with some baked strawberries over the top of it. And we are going to enhance both of those elements with 1% of WonderFlavours caramel butter. WonderFlavours caramel butter is going to add some butter to this. It's going to add some velvetiness to it. It's also going to sweeten up those strawberries and make them kind of syrupy, so you got this nice angel cake with some strawberry syrup over the top of it. And the last thing that we're going to add is WonderFlavours Bavarian Cream, which is the honorary fourth member of this list. WonderFlavours Bavarian Cream is extremely sticky and it's sweet and it's got a really nice dairy note, a pleasant subtle vanilla. It pairs really, really well with these bakeries and these fruits. It really kind of coats your palate, which is unusual because I don't think that this flavor has any diketones in it. It's not really dappy, but it does a really, really good job of making a really nice texture. So as far as steep time goes, this one is probably going to take about 2 weeks before that angel cake really kind of does its thing and you get the maximum benefit out of that. But I mixed it up right here. Let's give it a shot. WonderFlavours Angel Cake. It's a pretty light flavor. It has a tendency to kind of get kicked around by other flavors. So you push it up to around 4%. You give it a little bit of support, from the caramel butter. You can really pick up on that note. This recipe immediately it's cake. You get a little bit of that baked strawberry, and then the finish is just all cream and sweet caramel. This is a solid recipe. If you get a chance to mix it up, please let me know what you think down in the comment section below. There is a link to my Patreon campaign down in the description of this video. If you like what I'm doing here and you want to help to support the channel monetarily, you can give me $3 a month, get yourself a one-on-one mixing session with yours truly every month. That's 12 times a year. If you can't, that's okay too. Like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so that I get to annoy you every time I upload a video. I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.